The Attic's Unholy Secrets. Chapter 1. The Haunted Mansion. The rain-soaked streets of the city were cast in an eerie gray hue as Sarah made her way through the labyrinth of towering skyscrapers. The once vibrant metropolis felt oppressive and hollow, as if the weight of its history had seeped into the very air she breathed. But Sarah's mind was fixated on a single destination: Holloway House, the crumbling Victorian-era mansion that had long been the subject of whispered rumors and urban legends. As she approached the dilapidated structure, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of unease wash over her. The mansion loomed before her, its once grand facade now weathered and decaying, the windows like hollow, soulless eyes. The air seemed to grow colder, and Sarah shivered despite the thick coat she wore. She paused for a moment, her gaze drawn to the overgrown garden that once must have been a thing of beauty. Now it was a tangled mess of weeds and dying shrubs, a testament to the mansion's long-forgotten grandeur. Sarah could practically feel the weight of the past pressing down on her, the echoes of laughter and conversation from a bygone era now reduced to haunting silence. Steeling her nerves, Sarah stepped forward, her footsteps echoing through the empty courtyard as she made her way to the towering oak doors. The brass knocker, once polished and gleaming, now hung loosely, as if the house itself had surrendered to the ravages of time. With a deep breath, Sarah grasped the handle and pulled, the door creaking open to reveal a dim, dusty interior. The foyer was a study in decay, the once ornate wallpaper peeling, the marble floors cracked and worn. A grand staircase rose before her, its intricate wooden banister now splintered and weathered. Sarah felt a shiver run down her spine as she took in the scene, her mind racing with the stories that must have unfolded within these walls. As she ventured deeper into the mansion, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The air seemed to grow heavier, the shadows deeper, and the silence more oppressive. Her footsteps echoed through the empty corridors, the only sound save for the occasional groan of the old wooden beams. Curiosity, however, outweighed her fear. Sarah had come to Holloway House with a mission: to uncover the truth behind the whispered tales of the supernatural that had long shrouded the mansion in mystery. As a best-selling author known for her gripping tales of the unknown, she couldn't resist the lure of the unexplained. Clutching her notebook and flashlight, Sarah began to explore the mansion, her senses heightened and her heart pounding. She traced her fingers along the dusty, ornate moldings, her mind conjuring images of the grand parties and social gatherings that must have once filled these halls. The air was thick with the scent of mold and decay, and Sarah couldn't help but wonder what secrets the mansion had borne witness to over the years. As she ventured deeper into the mansion, Sarah's gaze was drawn to a set of stairs, narrow and winding, that led up to the attic. The air seemed to grow colder, the shadows darker, and Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was being drawn toward something ominous, something that lay waiting in the darkness above. With a growing sense of trepidation, Sarah began to ascend the stairs, her footsteps creaking and groaning under her weight. The air grew thick and heavy, and Sarah could almost feel the weight of the past pressing down on her. The flickering beam of her flashlight cast eerie shadows on the walls, and Sarah couldn't help but wonder what unseen eyes might be watching her from the darkness. As she reached the top of the stairs, Sarah paused, her gaze sweeping across the attic's cavernous expanse. The space was shrouded in darkness, the only light coming from the small, grimy windows that lined the walls. Dust motes danced in the air, and Sarah could hear the faint sounds of creaking and settling that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. Steeling her nerves, Sarah stepped forward, her footsteps muffled by the thick layer of dust that coated the floorboards. The air was stale and heavy, and Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The shadows seemed to loom around her, and Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. As she moved deeper into the attic, Sarah's gaze was drawn to a series of old, tattered boxes and crates that seemed to have been left untouched for decades. Curiosity getting the better of her, she knelt down and began to sift through the contents, her fingers brushing against the weathered surfaces of old photographs and journals. The items were a testament to the mansion's long-forgotten history, and Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and unease as she carefully examined each one. The faces in the photographs seemed to stare back at her, their expressions haunted and their eyes filled with a sense of sorrow that Sarah couldn't quite place. As she delved deeper into the attic's secrets, Sarah's heart began to race. The air grew thicker, the shadows deeper, and the sense of being watched more palpable. She could feel the weight of the mansion's past pressing down on her, and she knew that she was treading on dangerous ground. But Sarah was no stranger to the unknown. As a best-selling author of supernatural tales, she had always been drawn to the mysteries of the world, and Holloway House was no exception. With a growing sense of determination, she steeled her nerves and pressed on, her gaze sweeping across the attic's cavernous expanse. What secrets did this haunted mansion hold, and what unseen forces might be lurking in the darkness, waiting to confront her? Sarah knew that she was on the verge of uncovering something profound, and she was willing to risk everything to uncover the truth. As the shadows deepened and the air grew colder, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding wash over her. Holloway House was a place of darkness and dread, a place where the living dared not tread. But Sarah was no ordinary writer. She was a seeker of the unknown, and she was determined to confront the secrets that lay hidden within the mansion's crumbling walls. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more Part 2 and stories. Thanks for watching.